You unattended. On a scale from 1 to 10, the girls 100.
All right, guys. I'm gonna take you guys through my last three games, um, because they are quite a spectacle. Well, yeah, I guess we can do the match against Tim. Tim was pretty funny. Uh, Ty was pretty funny, and this was hilarious. Uh, so I don't know, get some snacks or something, because this might be one of the longer ones. Um, so let's get through it. So Tim, if I remember correctly, no, he plays this little battler. It's not the battler because it would be this, but it's basically the same concept because he's going to play bishop c4, so and try to get real explosive with it. You'll see. Actually, does he play it? Oh yeah, he plays it. It takes a while for him to play it, but so I play the moves. These are just the moves that you have to play against it. Not really, you know. Here it's probably better to like develop a piece or whatever. But I was like, I'm gonna see what he's thinking, and I think he got frustrated because it's very clear that this is just a free queen. It just is. It just is. But he actually lasted, guys. 35 more moves after this, which is quite hilarious. Well, part of it is because he immediately gives a check. And here, I'm just like, you know what? I'm up a queen. And when you're up a queen, you know, let's see if any of the niggas know, like, you can't help but be just slightly bit more disrespectful than you normally would as a chess player. You know, chess players are inherently disrespectful motherfuckers because they're going to try to come after your ass at all times. So, you know, it's life. So, um, I mean, here I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna try to get all of his pieces off the board, or just try to like tactically just destroy him, right? But he's fighting. He wants my queen back. Uh, I guess that was his plan, was to try to disrespect me back. You know, as a chess player himself, I have to respect that might be the idea. And I was like, okay, I'm getting this bishop off the board, uh, because why not? And I mean, here I'm just like, I'm just gonna trade pieces. Trade pieces. That was my plan. That was my plan. Was to just trade pieces because I'm not only two pawns up at this point. I'm up a queen, and the bishop pair is off the board. So there's no crazy diagonals that I have to worry about or anything of that nature. So I'm just like, let's just trade pieces. And uh, you know, tactically he kind of was getting fucked on too. If you see it, like I take the knight. He can't take the knight, but he does because I will take the with the queen with check, and now I'm winning back the knight. So now I just have a knight in two rooks with my queen. So it's complete. I'm just up a knight and I'm completely winning. Like there's just nothing he can be that can be done. Uh, he plays rook here, which you can see M is on the evaluation board, which it gives me the sense that he's kind of giving up. So this is when, and he only lasted 11 moves after this. This is when I was completely like, okay, I'm gonna push this pawn, and we're gonna promote this pawn, and I'm gonna have two queens on the board because that's the ultimate disrespect you can show as a chess player. And here I actually did have mate in two. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's this. I don't think it's this, but it probably is. Yep, it is. And then what? King goes like here. Ah, yep. Main two right there. But my plan is to push this pawn. So I'm like, okay, let me just develop a knight because I can't push it right now. Because, you know, now let's get this triple file attack. He sacks. I'm not falling for it. Well, he didn't sack, but he barrel stuffs, and I ignore it. He can't take, so he goes back, and now the triple file attack. The triple file attack is complete. So he hits me with the Roculus Linus. I guess I don't know. I'm not Harry Potter, so I don't have spell names. And here I'm just like, okay, let's do it. And he was being very stubborn. He did not want me to promote this pawn. I wanted to promote my D pawn because it's my queen's pawn. And I'm like, if I'm promoting any pawn in this game, it's going to be my queen's pawn. And there's nothing you can do about it. He didn't want that. You know, M is still on the evaluation board, by the way, because it's just nothing he can do. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm getting your rook off the board with a check. And then he resigns. Because it's just mate. It's just mate. I don't even know how he stops it. Well, actually, he can run. I think he just runs for a little bit, and then that's his only option. So like, probably like here. Here. I think here. King is completely cut off. So he probably goes like, I don't even know. Actually, I don't know. I think it's. I don't know where he goes. Yeah, I think he just has to run like this. Oh, well, no. Did I flip this? No. This is not me. Oh, he continues to run, and yeah, it prolongs the game. But you get the point. The point is, like, there's nothing he can do to stop me. I don't got time to find the exact pattern, but it's probably like this. Let's see, more squares cut off. I think he runs this way, and then I think, oh, is this? That doesn't work as a mate, but I can't find it right now. I cannot for the life of me find it right now. I'm playing very ass chess. Yeah, I don't. Okay, now it's made one, but you get the point. It's probably like here. Want to say, oh yeah, queen all the way back. But you know, that probably wouldn't have been the move. But you get the point. On to the next game. Oh wait. Could have done it like that, but it's whatever. This game, he resigns after 2 moves for whatever reason. I don't know what the guy was thinking. We checkmate this time. And pretty sure this was the gambit. Yes, this was the gambit. You see, he plays the England gambit. And he gambits both of these pawns to get the bishop out. And this is how I play against gambits, especially this level, because the only reason you would play a gambit is if you're going to be tactically destroying your opponent. And he could not do that. You see, he gets checkmated in 18 moves. So, here he plays standard, tries to pin me with this light square bishop to the. You know, this pin is just not good. It's just not good. The reason it's not good is because I'm always going to play h3. I'm going to play h3 every time, and the reason is it's not a king. It's not a king. It's a queen you're trying to pin me to. I'm just gonna take with the queen. The only time this pin works is if, for whatever reason, somehow your pawn is like right here. Well, no, not even that. Like somehow, like something's defending this. Maybe your file's open and you brought a rook or something. I don't know, right? It's life though, so he takes anyway. Now my queen's out. This is what kind of upsetted me though. He got the castle first. That's one thing that's a pet peeve of mine. When black gets the castle first, I don't really appreciate that. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, we're going all in. We're not really all in, but we're we're playing for a win, so we're gonna just develop. And he gives a check, and he takes and trades off. Again, he completely played the gambit wrong. Actually, when you're gambiting pawns, you don't want to trade off pieces. So you don't want to make trades like this, a piece for a piece. You don't want to do that because you have less attackers, meaning your tactics are not going to be as strong. But you still have 2 rooks and a queen, so you have some pretty powerful pieces. And your diagonals are pretty strong too, but he trades off both his bishops, which kind of is also in very intuitively bad because your knights are not really, they don't really have much space. You know what I mean? You don't have bishops that's backing them up. So most of these squares by the knight are already covered to some degree. And because you don't have a bishop backing it up, queen's guarding, so you're fine here. But because you don't have the bishop backing them up, I could also just play something like e4, e5, taking up space. And it doesn't really like that too much. I'm still plus 0.7, which is, it's life, so it's marginal, but it's still perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with this. So he checks me, trades off the bishop. But kudos to him, he actually found a pretty solid tactic. It's still completely losing actually. Probably because mate is pretty much on the board if he moves this knight. So remember when I said the knights are terrible? Not only did he trade off one of the knights for a bishop, which is fair, but now he tactically has binded his knight, his only piece that may have been able to do anything, because again, he found a tactic with knight takes d3 that forces me to take, and I lose one of my pawns. But you see the cost, the benefit to cost ratio was not in his favor. This actually loses the game on the spot. To what tactic, I do not know. But now, honestly, it's probably because at this point, I probably should have just took the knight. Right? Because now there's a mate threat. And if you don't understand, you can't take because the pawn is pinned to the king. Yeah, instructive. But that's probably why he's losing the game on the spot, considering he does stuff like this. But then it's completely back to me. And I castle. Honestly, because I was being a little disrespectful. But you see we're on move 16 out of 18. He doesn't have much time. He brings a rook. And I'm like, okay. I finally spot that I can just get in. And this attack is just unstoppable. So I take. And at this point, you see we're on move 17. Meaning it's mate in 1 if he does not find the ridiculous. And I think this is one of the moves that saves the game. Offering up a queen trade. This does save the game. However, you see I am up a piece also. And the pawn count is equal. So this is going to be a really hard end game to win for black. And his pawn structure is doubled. So there's not much here that justifies this, because I'll just play, or actually, after all of this, your rook is hanging. I forgot about this. So it's really nothing, because now, I mean, once that happens, I'm just gonna trade off this last rook. Actually, no, I'm not, because you can't even take it. So I just win this last rook, and it's all but bad news. It's all but bad news. I'm just gonna play here, win every pawn, and you're just done. You're just done. But we don't even get there, because instead he's like, I'm gonna take your rook because you attacked me and I don't want to lose rook. But oh no, queen takes g7. You missed it, didn't you? And, you know, even if it wasn't, you were losing this rook. Anyways, but you know that doesn't matter because it's simply checkmate, defended by the bishop. Dark square bishop, might I add. Beautiful pattern, if you ask me. But it's life, so you know. How could you know that the dark square infiltration was coming? So this is another checkmate that was missed, and this one was a little bit more. Well, he lasted one more move, so apples to oranges at this point. Excuse me. But from here, all right, we do standard queen's pawn stuff. He plays this move g3. G3 is like whatever. He plays here. I'm like, all right, you know, all right. It's clear this guy likes the light square bishop, and I respect that. I'm a light square bishop man somewhat myself, you know. But because I'm a light square bishop man, I'm gonna trade off that light square bishop. I'm gonna force you to play with the knights. And I'm going to play with the dark square bishop because I also can play with the dark square bishop myself. So, and then he trades in the center, which is fair. And after this, I mean, it's just standard stuff. He plops his knight here, which you're going to see this knight stays here for most of the game. And I'm like, okay, let's just develop standard chess at this point. I take the pawn. Now, I did completely blunder that he can just take my knight afterwards. So now he is just up a piece on move 11. But you've seen he only lasted 19 moves. So why did he lose this game? Is a major question. He's up a piece, only down 2 pawns. Well, one thing about pawns is that they control a lot of squares. So they not only control the square they're on, meaning you have to attack said square, but you have to get close enough to even attack said square unless you're a queen, of course. So like the queen's not that close to this pawn, but she's threatening to win it, and I think it gets one. Well, no, he completely misses the tactic and whatever. So, but from here, it starts to get constricted, and he blunders another pawn because you can't take, or you will lose your queen. And it's just, yeah, it looks like it's +2 and everything. But look at this. I can connect 4. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten connect 4. And my structure is pretty balanced. Compared to his, it's very unbalanced. He got 3 pieces on their home squares that are not doing anything. They're not doing anything. And he takes my knight. So now he's up 2 pieces. Yep, I only got a bishop. He has 2 knights and a bishop. Yes. Appreciate you. Sister just brought me a package, y'all. Anyways, it's a face wash. I'm gonna take me a nice shower after this and clean up my face a little bit. It's a little bit dirty. So, and from here, there's probably a tactic that I missed, but I'm just like, okay, I'm calling the bluff because yeah, you're up 2 pieces, but you don't really have nowhere to move. Like you see, he just moved his queen. He just slid his queen in here, and you know, some might be like, oh, he's threatening mate. He's not. He's not. Like, you see, there's no M. That's not mate. And see, this is not even a check. So he has no knight checks. This rook is really not doing anything but just pressuring this queen from behind, which is it helps with pressuring us, defending this queen from behind, which helps. And it's fine. But it's still not winning. So I'm like, okay, queen d7. I'm gonna threaten mate. And you know, the evaluation bar is going to skewer all over the place, but you're not going to see M until he plays his last move. And he takes my rook. Don't really care. I'm just going to block. because I see mate on the board. And sometimes when you smell blood as a chess player, you have to kind of just go for it. Especially at this level, they're going to just hang it. See what I mean? You didn't see mate this entire time. There was no M on the evaluation. No M. The evaluation bar was just skewering all over the place because the engine didn't even know what the hell we were doing. Y'all not gonna get that joke at all, but it's okay. So the point is, this overly aggressive style that these guys are going to play at this level, it doesn't win in the long run. You see, check. I just block. And now, it's the only time you've seen M on the evaluation the entire game. Guess who has it? Not Mr. Elmira or Mrs. There's a percentage of women chess players. And look, I understand it. You're attacking the queen, but you just have to look. You just have to look. I remember I even told them in the chat, because you can chat on this on chess.com. There's a little chat box. If they allow the chat message to go through, like you'll get an option to, would you like to chat with such and such player? You say yes. You'll see whatever they type. I just told them. I just straight up said, you just have to look. You just have to look. You have to look. Okay, can he give me a check that is just defended by another piece? Can he do that? If the answer is yes, whatever move you thought you had, you probably don't have. You need to scrap it. It's not in the candidate's moves because you just lose. You will just lose the game. You will lose the game. Via checkmate, not even resigning, not on your own terms, on the opponent's terms. Because look at the position. Look how bad it looks for me. Look how bad it looks for me. But yet I'm the one delivering the brutal finishing killing blow. Get out of here.